peeps, welcome back to another episode of 3 for Thursday, where I share 3 things about something on Thursday. I'm your host, Gladys from Heart Take the Wheel, your brand and business photographer. In this video, I will share with you 3 tips for coming up with ideas for planning your social media content, and it's a good one. It's a good one. I love this one. So number 1 is to answer frequently asked questions. Address these questions. Sometimes you don't have to just directly answer them, but maybe showing behind the scenes of that or diving deeper into those topics. So consider DMs you get, questions you get from friends or family, comments on content. And if you're new or you're just like unsure or you don't get a lot of these questions yet, then definitely check some other related brands and businesses, and that they might have questions for those brands. So that means your audience might have similar questions about your operations or your products. And so you can answer those for them there. Another thing you can do is maybe pitch your business brand offering products to your friends that are in businesses, family, Instagram friends that you have, and bounce off them and see what questions come up on their end. Another way you can do this, because I'm full of ideas, is to think of the questions that you have asked or you've had in your mind but you didn't ask other brands and businesses about their services, products, and offerings, and then find out how to translate that question for your own business. Like, how would the question you had for them, how does that exact question kind of translate to what you do? How can you kind of flip that and get a related sidebar question that answers what you do about your business and products? So those are some ways to come up with frequently asked questions, or to be frequently asked questions, to then come up with content that you can plan out and make sure you answer these questions. Because we all know, I don't know how often you actually ask the question, but a lot of us don't, or we wait till someone else asks the question. So if you can answer that before they ask it, then that is the one less step, one less question they have in their head before learning more about working with you or purchasing your products or whatever it is. And lastly, to get these questions, do not be afraid to directly ask your audience on an Instagram poll or sticker, on Facebook. Go live and just start talking about what you do, talk about what they do, and bounce off, go live. I don't know, directly ask the question. Do you have any questions for me? And if you want to be more specific, you will get better questions or more responses the more specific you are. So instead of, do you have questions about what I do you have questions about my pricing? Do you have questions about how this would work in your home? Or do you have questions about, be a little more specific about asking for these questions, and then you will likely get more responses or more helpful responses, at least, so that you can create content around those. So number 2 is popular content or topics that you have shared in the past. So just working off what works, right? So don't reinvent the wheel. If you can go through your insights on Instagram or figure out what has been popular on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or whatever platforms that you like to hang out on, or YouTube, of course, then definitely see okay, well, what was popular? What did people really like? What did they comment the most on? What did they share the most? Then base some further content diving deeper into those topics, or reposting some of that if it's on Instagram. If you had a really popular post about a year ago, then share it again. There's a good chance there's a portion of your audience that's never seen it. It's okay. And it was obviously a really good post, really good topic. People like to engage on it. So there's a good chance it'll still do well. Again, I am not an English major. Let's be clear. So if you're new, like I said, maybe you don't have that data to work off of, or maybe you're not new, you're just trying to find this info, but without diving into what's worked, maybe you don't like what's worked, I don't know. So if you just want some more ideas on what's popular for what you do, here's something you can try. Do a Google search for what you do or a service or product that you offer, and see the suggestions that pop up. Often you might get stuff that's relative to you, but you can also do a incognito window or something and kind of see if the results change. Use those as a basis for getting started on some content. Then to take it a step further, click one of them and then scroll to the bottom and see the search suggestions, like further searching at the bottom. And some of those could also be further content ideas. You can also do this on YouTube. So you could do that there where you search YouTube for your same thing. Like I did product photography in all of my examples. And on YouTube, I was able to do product photography and I got some different or further results. So those are good ways to kind of search for what people are searching for that is relative to what you do, what you offer, or a product that you have, or just topics that you cover. The cool thing about that tip is that you can be sure that those results are SEO friendly, obviously. They're already proven to work. So diving deeper on that so your audience gets your take on it is a great way to kind of move forward. So number 3 and the last tip is, what is the goal of your content? What is the goal that you want your audience to go through via your content? What's the purpose? If you're launching something soon, then your goal is pretty straightforward. It's warming up your audience for that launch, warming them up for the topics surrounding what you do or what you're about to launch. So that's a pretty straightforward one. So if you have something on the calendar in the next month or so, then I would tailor your content to teach us more about it, educate us about it, inspire us around that topic, warm us up to whatever it is that you will eventually launch, so that when launching happens, it's not a surprise and we're ready for it. If your goal is to grow your email subscribers, then your content goal would be to show us why we want to join. Tell your audience about, or show your audience the benefits of your list. What will it provide us? What do the people on your list currently receive? Am I missing out on that? Inspire or educate us on what it's like to receive that email so that we know exactly what we're signing up for. Or you can also just sidebar it and talk about the content that's similar to what you share on your newsletter list, so that when people do join, they're getting more of what they already love. So think about the end in mind. Instead of posting just a post for purpose. So what is your goal this week? What's your goal this month? How does your content help you achieve that? How does your content help your audience go along that path? So if your goal isn't about a metric or leading to a launch, then maybe you are more about a community or building up a brand and like an aesthetic. Then your content should still build us up to inspire us about that community. Tell us why we want to be involved. Show us what it's like to experience that side of things. How does your content build up your community? It's still goal focused. The goal is just a different way of measuring. All right, guys, that wraps up this 3 for Thursday. Subscribe if you aren't already so you don't miss next week's. And see me on Instagram where I post updates pretty much every day. If you want to stay in the loop, that's where you need to be. And I will see you in the next video.